Alright guys, so this right here is what's gonna make my gauges work. This right here is the stock harness from the 4.6 and it's modified. I did not modify it. Nathan, I'll put him right here, his profile picture. Nathan from the Coyote Swap Facebook group, he helped me out. So this is customized. He simplifies it pretty good. Alright, so let's look over here at the connectors. Let me explain one by one what they are. Okay, so this connector is going to be for my AC compressor. This is what's going to make the AC work. So that's one. This one right here, it's got 3 wires. Okay, now 2 of them are going to go to the PCM of the Coyote. These 2 right here, and this extra wire is just a shield, basically, so that these 2 wires don't get interrupted with any other signals. And that's why also why it has this special, like a foil looking kind of wrap on it. So that's for the tachometer and for the AC. So far that's for the tach and the AC. Now these 2 that are left, this one right here is gonna be for the oil pressure. Okay, this one actually does connect to the 5.0 oil pressure that's on my car, surprisingly. And this connector is from my 4.6. So if you do get it from Nathan, he will send the oil pressure one without the connector, obviously, since you have to use your stock one. Now, it might not work for your Gen 1, but for my Gen 2 motor, this connector from the 4.6 does connect to my oil pressure sensor for the 5.0. So that's for the oil pressure. Now this one over here is gonna be for my stock 4.6 coolant sensor. So yes, I'm gonna have to use my coolant sensor. So next to the oil filter, there is a bung. We're gonna take it out, put my coolant sensor in, and then plug this in. So that's pretty much how it's gonna work. You got your oil pressure, got your coolant sensor, AC compressor connector, and then for the tachometer. And all that is supposed to make the stock cluster work. Now, the magic in this is Nathan, how he depinned everything that you don't need. So be sure to hit him up if you have a Coyote swap and you want your cluster to work, your stock cluster. This is what's gonna help you out. So now we just pretty much need to wire this up, and I'll show you guys how we do it. There goes all the coolant from the coolant plug. It's kind of hard to see, but it's up there. So we're gonna take that bung out, and then we're gonna go to the store and get a fitting so that my stock sensor will thread to the block. But yeah, first you gotta drain all that in order to get the plug out. So that's all we're doing right now, is just draining it. Alright, so to put the coolant temp sensor, we are gonna put it, if you come over here next to the oil filter, see that hole right there? Well, this bung was right there. So you're gonna take this off, and then once you take this off, just be ready. All of the coolant will fall out, just as you guys saw. Once you let all of the coolant drain, you're gonna have to go to the store and get fittings. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna use your 4.6 sensor. You're gonna have to put it right there. So since we're using our 4.6 sensor, it's gonna sit right there, and then the 4.6 harness will receive, you know, the temperature of the coolant and the block, and that's what's gonna make the gauge on the cluster work. All right, so look, watch. This is the 4.6 sensor. This one, I forgot what happened with when I had it on my 2-valve, but I think something happened when I had to put JB welds here. I don't know. I'm probably gonna go buy one right now. But you're gonna use your 4.6 sensor, right? And in order to fit this to the block, it's not gonna adapt just straight up, because this is too small of a thread compared to the one on the block. So you're gonna need 2 adapters. Now, this right here is gonna be one of them, and this is the other one. Now let me get close up so you guys can see, you know, part numbers or sizes. Okay, so I'm assuming that's the part number right there, LFA-870, and I got these at Home Depot, both of these. Okay, so you're gonna need 3/4 to 1/2 inch, and then you're also gonna need 1/2 inch to 3/8, which, and 3/8 being the thread of this. So let me put it together so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna take this one out first, the 1/2 inch to 3/8. And also one thing that's very important is that when you go to the store, wait, I don't think I told you this size. This one right here is LFA-828. Okay, so you gotta make sure that it's the right thread because there's different types of threads. Okay, so this right here, watch, this is gonna sit in here for the 3/8. Okay, see that? And then you would just tighten it all the way. Okay, now we're gonna get the other fitting out, which is the 3/4 to 1/2 inch. Okay, so here's the other one. All right, and we went to the store and this matches the same thread as the bung that we took out from the block. It's the same thread. Okay, so then the 3/8 to the 1/2 inch will go into here. This is 1/2 inch. So it just connects just like that. See that? So there you go. Then all you need to do is put Teflon on everything and make sure you tighten it all good. And this will screw right into the block, and then you're gonna connect your 4.6 harness pigtail right there. And then that's how the cluster is gonna get temperature from the block. Now we just clean it up and tighten it up and then put it back to the block. All right, I already went back to the store, so I'm not gonna use that one. Now we're gonna use this one. As you can see, it's way better since it's new, but yeah, like I said, just gonna put it all together, put Teflon, tighten everything up, and just go straight to the block. Alright guys, so I know we showed putting the sensor onto here, but we had to take it off just because it's pretty difficult to put it all together up there and then, you know, screw it. So like we weren't able to fit a tool or socket obviously all together, so we took off the sensor and now we're going to use a socket to go over this, tighten this, and then put the sensor onto here, if that makes sense. So we're going to socket this on and then socket the sensor onto here. So yeah, do not put it all together unless you can, but it's pretty difficult because up there there's hardly any room. So yeah, we're about to put this on and then the sensor onto here. Alright, I tried to give you guys the best angle I could. The camera is like barely fitting under the car, but I know it's important to see what it looks like. So just gonna put the socket over the fitting and go ahead and ratchet it tight. It's going little by little, but important thing is that it's tightening. Alright, seems like it's good. My dad was very specific on saying to stop when it stops. I mean, I don't want to strip it, so seems like that's good right there. Alright guys, so I unplugged them just so I could show you guys again. Don't mind this loom here, that's for the starter. But here is the oil pressure sensor, and that is my 4.6 coolant sensor on all those adapters. Okay, and that black stuff is just tape because we couldn't find the right socket, so we kind of taped it to make a tight fit with the socket. But coolant sensor, oil pressure sensor, this is from the stock 5.0 block, and this one is from the 4.6. This is for the coolant, and it's just gonna click right on. There it goes. Okay, it didn't click because the tab's broken, but I mean it's on there. And then this one right here is the pigtail to my stock 4.6 harness. This still, it actually works with this 5.0 sensor, surprisingly. What a miracle. So watch, you're gonna hear the click. There it is. So that's secure, that's there, and yeah, we already zip tied this to the loom so it won't get anywhere near the header up here. And that's it. Onto the RPMs. Okay, so now the only thing left is gonna be these two wires for the RPM. I already moved the reservoir over. We're gonna unplug this one from the engine harness, so just gonna pull this up, take this off, and expose these wires so we can find the pins that we need. Alright guys, so here's the connector from the engine harness. I already went ahead and took off the little cover here to it covers all these wires. It's actually right here. this one right here. So you have to be like super careful to take this off in order for you to look at all the pin numbers that are in the back. There's little numbers down there. I don't know if you can see. There's numbers right here, so you know what pin number you're looking at. You kind of have to take this off so you have more wiggle room. You probably can get around working this, but I mean, it's just a whole lot easier if you take this off. You just have to be super careful not to break these little tabs right here. There's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is gonna sit like this, right? In order to take this off, you will have to look at it from under here. Okay, you're gonna see one tab here, one tab here, one here, here. Now they're pretty deep inside of here. In order for you to take it out, obviously you kind of gotta pry it. So this is what I was using, these super skinny screwdrivers, and basically I would put this in there and pry the tab up. Same for here, put it over here and pry up. And then at the same time, I had another screwdriver in between the connector and the little cover, and I was keeping it, you know, I was trying to pry it open as I was prying the tabs so it could slide off. Because if you're not careful, you can be unclipping those little tabs, and just by the pressure, it's gonna want to click back on its own. So you kind of have to fight it. So you're gonna have, you know, a screwdriver or whatever in here, just to keep some distance so it won't click again. And then just be careful, like just put a flashlight, be careful, put this under the tab, pry it up, and then put this under the tab, pry it up. And it's going to be the same thing for under here. You're going to put it here and pry this way, here, pry this way. You just got to be super careful not to damage any of those plastics in there, those plastic little things, whatever they do. It's kind of a swivel for this connector, so just be careful. And then once that's off, it'll be pretty much easy, because once you put it back, it'll just snap right on. All right, so it's gonna be number 69 and 70, so those 2 pins. So we're gonna start from right here. This is 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. This one right here, this green one right there on the schematic, thanks to Nathan, right there it shows that it is green with brown, and then that number 70 is yellow with violet. Now for whatever reason on my engine harness, this yellow one is yellow with gray, but I spoke to Nathan. He said that just go by the pin numbers, not to worry about the colors, and for the most part they are the same colors. This one is green and brown, and this one is yellow. I guess maybe they might have changed that secondary color for whatever reason, but so one of them is going to be negative and then the other one's going to be positive. And as you can see on the schematic, the diagram, it says that the green one is going to be negative, which is the green with brown wire, pin 69, and 70, which is yellow with violet, what it says on the schematic, that one is a positive. So both of these are for the crank sensor. All right, so again, positive, and the green one is negative. Okay, and this right here is what's gonna be for the RPMs, thanks to Nathan again. This, my custom 4.6 harness is customized because of Nathan. So just hit him up if you have a Coyote swap and you're serious, and he will get it done for you. Really easy. So the blue one is gonna go to the yellow one. So blue from the 4.6 to pin number 70 on the 5.0. So blue to yellow, blue to pin 70, and this gray one right here is going to go to 69. So let me repeat it again. Blue to pin 70, yellow. Gray to pin 69, green. Yellow, green. So all we got to do is just solder them up right there. And then, like I said, this one right here is like a shield. It's kind of like protecting the signal or something like that from these RPM wires. And that's why it has that special foil, which is actually under this tape. But yeah, gonna solder them and then tape it up, and then that's pretty much it. And I should have tack and everything else. So there it is, the gray with the green and then the blue with the yellow. Now we're just gonna tape it off and put everything back together. All right guys, so I'm about to show you proof that the wiring that Nathan did for me is gonna work, or that it does work. So let's just turn on the car. All right, let's see. All right, let me close the door. All right, as you guys can see, they do in fact all work. As you can see, coolant temperature works. That's gas, it works because of the sending unit on the Lethal Performance fuel system. The miles per hour does work. I'm not driving right now, I'm in the garage, so RPMs do work. As you can see, I don't want to rev it in my garage, but yeah, it works. Voltage and oil pressure, so everything in fact is working perfect as it should. So big thanks to Nathan. You guys be sure to check Nathan out. I'm gonna post his Facebook right here, and also his YouTube channel. I'm gonna link it down below. So he's gonna start putting out some pretty informational videos. He's a really cool dude. If you guys are serious about this swap and getting your gauge cluster to work, message him definitely. And it's only $150, like $150, and you're gonna have your cluster working. Now, you guys, I don't know if you're thinking about trying to wire it on your own. I would recommend that you don't, just because it's so simple just to pay $150, and he's gonna take care of you. And not only that, he's gonna help you out. You have questions, you message him, he's gonna literally guide you the whole way through. So definitely hit him up for these gauges. Like I said, they do work. And this video is for the Gen 2 motor specifically for this wiring, but he knows how to do the Gen 1 and pretty much anything else. So yeah, big shout out to him, man. It's just awesome how everything works. Like, it's a swap and then all my gauges work like factory. That's pretty amazing. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them down below and I'll be sure to answer to you guys. If you can share the video, it really helps me out, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys watching. It means so much, man. I know you guys probably hear that from me a lot, but it really does. Like, I never would have thought I would have this amount of subscribers or views and stuff. It's just all ridiculous. The car itself is crazy. I never thought I'd have the swap, and I have the swap. So yeah, man, thanks a lot. Be sure to stick around the channel if you haven't already subscribed, because I do see a lot of people that aren't subscribed that do watch. So be sure to click subscribe, and be sure to click the notification bell if you want to stay up to date with the channel. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys again. I'll catch you guys in the next video.